Hey AP students, in this video I want to go over some of the College Board testing guidelines. They released this PowerPoint, and this is a PDF that I put in our shared Google folder. And it's just talking about things in terms of how to submit your answers, this e-ticket, what to expect on the day of the AP exam. To be honest, you might have already gone through this guide, or maybe if you're taking other AP classes, other AP teachers have gone through this guide. So one, you might skip this video entirely and just open up this PDF. But I did want to go through it. I might not stop on every single slide, but talk about some key ideas, some key things. And then during our office hours on Tuesday, we'll have a big chunk of it being, are there any general questions about setup, what you're allowed, what you're not allowed? Okay, so here is that AP testing guideline. Let's go through it a page at a time. So let's see, I got my PDF viewer. How do I go down? Like this, like this. Okay. So this is a summary of resources that are available for you, as well as some general stuff you should be aware of. Okay, one thing in the descriptions for this video, one, I'm going to have a link to this PDF. Also, I'm going to have a link to the practice. They kind of have, College Board kind of has a practice setup. You can kind of do a mock version, and you can see the graphic interface. You can see what it looks like when you log in, seeing a question, submitting an answer. So that will be down here as well. Just like I had kind of like the practice final to see how it looks for Canvas, I recommend you try it out so you get a feel for how it's going to look for the AP exam, especially if you haven't done it yet for maybe another AP class. Okay, let's scroll down. First of all, you're going to get an e-ticket. That's what College Board is calling it. You're going to get it 2 days before the exam. Our exam is on May 14th. So you should expect to get an email with an e-ticket 2 days before. And I'm really hoping College Board has been like sending you emails and communicating this stuff. If not, maybe let me know, and maybe I'll spend more time on this than I'm currently doing. But you're going to have this e-ticket. You're going to get one for each AP class. So there should be one very specific AP Physics exam e-ticket. It'll have an ID, the subject, the time of your test, all of that. I believe if you see that in an email, there'll be a direct link for you to take that exam at the appropriate time. Okay, obviously you don't want to be giving this to somebody else. You don't want to be having like 2 computers and you log on with your e-ticket on both. Because then, oh my gosh, maybe College Board thinks this guy gave their e-ticket to somebody else. All right, maybe they're going to think that you're cheating somehow. So be very careful. I would say choose your one electronic device for how you're going to submit and how you're going to read the question. You don't want to like read it on a laptop and then submit it on your phone, because if you're using that e-ticket on 2 different devices, I fear they might think you're trying to cheat. You're sharing it. Okay, so make sure you choose one thing. All right, and then obviously, let's double check AP Physics. Here it is. Yep, Thursday, May 14th. Our time is 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Everyone's taking the AP Physics exam at the same time, more or less, worldwide, and therefore for us it's 1 p.m. That's not bad. Luckily, you're not in Hawaii at 10 a.m. or if you're over in Europe somewhere, that'd be like 8 p.m. Okay, so 1 p.m. is not too bad. Make sure you don't oversleep. Okay, now there's an automatic makeup exam in June. You can find it here for AP Physics 1. That's going to be June 2nd. If you cannot make the May exam, you totally forget, you're having internet connectivity issues, I recommend you don't try it. Don't do anything. Don't try and log in if you know your Wi-Fi is cutting in and out. Okay, I think they do have a mechanism for like reporting, like, oh man, I tried the test, but it cut out like halfway through. But I recommend if you wake up that day and you're like, oh my gosh, my internet's not working, I would just say, I'm just not even going to try, because I don't want them to think like I'm trying to get away with something and saying like, oh yeah, my internet went down, when that might be very true. If you don't use your May e-ticket, you will automatically be sent a June makeup e-ticket, which of course you'll use in June. Okay, again, 2 days before your exam. All right, there are no additional scheduled makeup. So here's what you should not do. You shouldn't think, oh, I instantly get this June makeup exam, so I'm going to give myself an extra couple weeks to study. Because if something comes up for you in June and you can't do that makeup, or you sleep through the test or whatever, or you sleep through the time, that's it. You're out of luck. You did not take the AP exam. Okay, so you should all be planning for May, because then you have a backup. If you're planning for June, you have no backup. Okay, and then if you plan for May and then of course there's an issue, then you have your backup available to you. Okay, again, it's simultaneous roughly worldwide, so make sure we recognize our time. Here for AP Physics 1, it's at 1 p.m. Okay, they make a point in saying that it's not going to be any more or less difficult to earn a 3, 4, 5. The College Board test isn't curved. They don't give out scores based on like how many people got 5s or got 4s. They do it based on points. They decide, okay, getting this many points should be worth a 5. And then if everybody gets that many points, then okay, they'll say everybody gets a 5. Don't complain to me. I'm not part of College Board or anything. I'm the messenger. Okay. They make a point in saying, and I do want to spend a little time on this, they make a point in saying that don't worry if you don't complete all the parts of a question. Now, that's always been true. You can still get a 5 if you don't finish certain questions. I remember a student, this was years ago, and this is what they told me. They may have been lying. But they told me, Mr. Thrasher, I was taking the free response. I got through the 4 or 5 problems, or the 4 problems, I think it was. And he thought he was done, and he was just double checking his work for those 4 problems. And then he turned the page, and he saw there was a 5th question. And he had no more time. He told me he wrote a YOLO on question 5. Obviously, he didn't attempt anything, didn't get any points. He got a 5 on the AP exam, okay? So you running out of time does not instantly mean that you're doomed, right? We just saw on our final exam, you could have done a very good job on the first few questions, and that alone might have given you a passing score. Now, I do think they might make the test longer than usual, because since they're just doing 2 free response questions, they're kind of making the point, they're kind of, if I'm reading between the lines, they're kind of saying they want to give multiple opportunities to earn points. So it might be that they may be asking more questions than normally for these timed exams than in the past. So if you have no idea how to do this one, oh, you could jump down and try this one. So again, if you don't finish, that's okay. In fact, that might be more common this year than in past years. Again, if I kind of read in between the lines. So if you read a question and you have no idea, skip it. Go on to another question. Okay. This slide, I don't think I really have to talk too much about it. I'm going to skip over to this one. All right. Here are your possible ways to submit a response. Okay. And I do want to talk about these. There are essentially 3 methods. Okay. 2 of them are only for submitting typed responses, okay? If you copy and paste, so you type everything on a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word doc, Control A, you go into College Board's little window and you paste that text, okay? If you do that, you cannot paste in any files. You can't paste in any images, no GIFs, no handwritten pictures of you. It can only be text. Or you could attach a file. You could attach a Word doc. You could attach a PDF. But if you attach a file, again, I believe it can only be, oh my gosh, it can only be a typed response. I know you could possibly in Microsoft Word or in a Google Doc type something and attach a JPEG and embed it in there. Maybe you save it as a PDF. That's possible, but they don't want that. It's only text. Okay, if you're copying and pasting or uploading a file where you type things out, it's only things typed out. The other option where you could possibly include your own diagram or your own equation by hand, you could do equations here, you could type out equations here, okay, is if you take a photo. Okay, this is the only time, I think, where they'll look at diagrams maybe that you've drawn. Okay, so if you're doing this, if you're submitting typed stuff, no JPEGs, no images of any kind, okay, you have a little more leeway if you're going to take a picture with your phone or something. Okay, you might want to pause this. This is just going over each of those options. They do make a point. Don't take this test on Windows Explorer. Don't use Windows Explorer. Okay, now for the copying and pasting, unlike my final exam, they're not going to have a text box for College Board's website or their app or whatever where you can type. You have to type it somewhere else. Again, look at their kind of practice interface. You'll see you can't type directly into College Board's submission website. You have to type somewhere else and copy and paste. So that's a little different than my final exam. So please be aware of that. Okay, they recommend you use Chrome. You could use Firefox or Safari. I guess you could use Edge. That's like the new Windows one, right? But don't use Explorer, Internet Explorer, if anyone even uses that. Okay, like maybe you want to pause, but here are some more guidelines for submitting an attached document. It could be a doc or a docx. It could be just a simple text file or a PDF. Type your response in Google Docs or similar, as long as it can save. Okay, so it looks like you probably can't link a Google Doc. Okay, you can't just get a shareable link for Google Doc and submit it. You can type it into Google Doc, and then Google Doc is great, right? You could save it as a doc file or a PDF on your hard drive on your computer and then upload that. Okay, again, don't include images, and they recommend you save often. Okay, and again, taking a picture. Okay, they do want you to write your AP ID, initials, and page number on every and all pages that you submit. Okay, so I don't know if they're instantly gonna like remove and give you a 0 for the AP exam, but you don't want things getting mixed up. So make sure on every picture you have your AP ID, your initials. For Mr. Thrash should be PT, and the page number on top of each page of your response. Okay, 1 page per photo. You'll need to attach multiple photos. They say here a maximum of 5 photos per test. Okay, and you can use pretty much normal image files, PNG, JPEGs, stuff like that. Someone asked like .heic, and I guess that's raw photo format. I don't know, you might be taking a gamble. So if you take a picture with your phone and your phone is keeping it as that raw format, you might just want to email it to yourself or something, or make sure you're submitting a JPEG. My guess is they might be able to see more than these, but they want to, try and get everyone using the most common. Okay? I'm going to skip that on music theory, the world language, testing accommodations. Hopefully, if you know you have accommodations, that's already been communicated to you. There are details at this website. You can copy and paste this right here. I'm going to move on. For a makeup test, okay? Remember, for a makeup test, you'll be directed to a request form. To be honest, as I'm reading this is maybe a little unclear, because I was told before that you're automatically issued a makeup exam e-ticket. This is saying you have to fill out a request. Oh, maybe this is saying issues on exam day. So if you have an issue, like you log in or something, and then there's an issue, maybe like internet connectivity, technical disruptions, you got to fill out a form. But my understanding is if you just never log in, you're instantly issued a makeup e-ticket for June. I'm going to double check that for you. Okay, if you don't find the answer on your own, let me know, and I'll make sure to figure that out. Okay, but if something happens in the middle of the test, okay, there will be a testing request form. Okay, there's a form right here. Okay, it's in this this handout. Make sure you have your e-ticket so you have your ID. Okay, let's keep going. It will guide students step by test. Most students will be able to navigate the test using only information on preceding slides. Okay, I'm going to keep going there. Here are 5 steps to take before exam day. Okay, so the stuff before May 14th for us. Make sure you know your contact information. Okay, make sure hopefully you've been communicated with College Board and they're giving information like your College Board ID. Hopefully none of that kind of stuff is surprising. Make sure you know what device you're going to use. Maybe double check, can your camera take pictures, and is it a JPEG? Is that nice and easy, or how would you get it as a JPEG form? Maybe practice. Remember, they have that demo. Oh, there's that website right here. Again, it's going to be in the description. collegecb.org/AP demo. Okay, make sure you're checking your emails from College Board, all of that stuff. And, for AP Physics, I recommend you print out a copy of that equation sheet. Okay, have it right in front of you. Or if you have it on a computer, have it as another tab. Okay, you're entitled certainly to that AP equation sheet. Okay, contact information. So make sure all of this is correct. Here's a website you can go to. Again, this whole PDF is linked in my Google file folder. Check your tech. Preparing to type documents. You could pause here and read this over if you want. Okay, for handwritten, again, you can read this over. Make sure you're writing neatly and legibly. I'm going to keep going. For the exam day, obviously you're going to need your e-ticket. Make sure you know your AP ID. Obviously, make sure you have your technical stuff. Make sure you have your internet turned on, your browser, your router turned on. You are allowed notes. I've already talked about that. Textbook and stuff, we've discussed that already. Okay. Let's see, let's scroll down to physics. Yeah, you get this equation sheet. You can use a calculator. Again, you're not going to have to do any calculations for actual like responses, but maybe if there's a data analysis question, having a calculator might be helpful, even if you don't yourself have to do any explicit calculations to earn points. I'm gonna keep going. I think that's kind of the bulk of the stuff I wanted to talk about for the exam day. Oh, here. Oh, this is good. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. For the exam day, they recommend you kind of sit at your computer, you log in, you're ready to go 30 minutes before your test. So for AP Physics 1, that's going to be at 12:30. You should be at your computer, ready to go, maybe a glass of water, maybe some snacks, ready to go at 12:30. Okay, use your e-ticket to check into the exam. I think you're gonna have to fill out some information, your name, your AP ID, that kind of thing. I think you do have to wait until exactly 1 p.m. to start your questions. Okay, and also, unlike my exam, if you finish question 1 early, and that's allowed, I think you have to wait until they show you question 2. So if you totally skip question 1, if you're like, oh, that's a lost cause, you're still gonna have to wait the 45 minutes or so. Okay, so please be aware of that. Okay, music theory. Okay, exam security. So here's a diagram showing when you log in, and they'll give you a timer. There'll be a timer on the screen as you go, answering exam questions. I don't think I need a video on this. You guys can flip through this PDF more if you want. Okay, managing your time, submitting your response. Again, here's how they're saying you have to paste your work. You can't directly type into that field. What could go wrong while I'm testing? Again, if something goes wrong while you're testing, I think that's what they mean, this request makeup form. If you're in the middle of the test and something goes wrong, then fill out this request makeup, okay? And then exam scores and credit, I'm not going to go over this. You can do it on your own, okay? There's some general information. Again, our office hours on Tuesday, that'll be a good time with any outstanding questions. And if you know answers to things that Mr. Thrasher doesn't know, I appreciate your knowledge, okay, to help out everyone. Thanks for watching this video.